Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Shedannygans, and I'm your host, Danny McFall. Now, what is Shedannygans? It should be simple. It's in the title. It is Danny's Shenanigans, right? I'm Danny. I deal in shenanigans, and thus I have a name for a show. I didn't put a lot of thought into it, or maybe I did. You will never know. So, what is Shedannygans? Well, if you're familiar with the show that I used to do called Quarantine Dream, it's gonna be kind of like that, except for not during a global pandemic. So much happier. Figured it was time for a change because we are out of that pandemic, and so much time has passed since then. It's time to move on and just start anew. So this is gonna be a new series, and it's basically gonna be dealing with my take on pop culture, my particular brand of humor, a lot of music and nostalgia, and probably some embarrassing childhood stories that are funny to people because it wasn't them. So yeah, it's a lot of that, and with my vibe. And if that's something that you're into, hopefully you'll stick around. So, with that being said, I figure there's no real way to start this series off without explaining that there are not one but two Danny McFalls in this world, and that the reason why I am the way that I am, the reason why I have shenanigans in my blood, comes from pretty much that guy. If you meet my mom, people don't really understand. I look a lot like her, and then they're like, I see the resemblance, but mama is like low key and chill and cool. She's a pastor and, godly, very serious business over there. And I ain't anything but serious business. And then people meet my father, also named Danny McFall, and very quickly you understand why I am the way that I am. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not a junior, okay? My mom made sure of that. She gave me a middle name, so I got a middle name, and my pops doesn't have a middle name. So that's the only reason why I'm not junior. But pretty much, I mean, the name is the name, right? And so to give you an example of that, right? Like, we're the same, but we're different. Even though in my mind, I'm like, I'm completely different from this guy. As I get older in life, I realize not as much as I think, right? I think a lot of people are just like, oh man, I'm turning into my parents. I realize in a lot of ways, I've kind of always been like him, different but the same. Let me explain. So my pops, born, back in the day, but like in the 70s, like this man was like every definition of the term cool cat. Like this man had a sweet afro. Like I saw a high school picture of him. Like he looked just like Coolio, like with an afro. You know what I mean? Gangsta's Paradise, but with an afro. Like that was him. Like that was Danny McFall. Like this man was like stylish, was like that guy. You know what I mean? Just like even the way he talked, be like, yeah, smooth. You know what I mean? And like to this day, he still feels as if he is a smooth individual. In fact, one of the several nicknames that he's given himself was Smooth. I say that because he mostly goes by Old School. He's Old School DMC, to be exact. And you will know this because he likes to make sure that it is on things, right? This man is very passionate about this name. Old School, this is a thing that brings him joy. He is Old School DMC. And as such, over the years, he would wear, clothing that would have Old School on it somewhere. Not actually on the product when he bought it. It would be something that he added himself. He wore jeans, and on the pants leg, he would have in puff paint written Old School. Like you knew who you were dealing with. And like as a kid, I was like, that's crazy. A person that's super passionate about something that always, every time you see him, he has that thing on. Like who would do such a thing? Different but the same, right? I enjoy Golden Girls and Black Panther, and it is all over everywhere. And every time you see me, there will be something Black Panther and or Golden Girls on me. Look behind me. It's a Black Panther helmet and claws and all those kind of things. Different but the same, right? So, he also used to drive this cool lowrider truck. It was a black truck, had like tinted windows and everything, and he had like Just Creeping on the back because again, he's a cool cat from way back. So Just Creeping, it was the 90s. There were songs and stuff. You know what I mean? It was cool back then, right? And so like it was this car, and like, hey, when you saw it, you knew that was Pops. Like, hey, that's old school. He coming in with the Just Creeping, and he was very proud of it. And as a kid, I'm like, that's ridiculous. Who would do such a thing? Why would you drive around in a car that is so spectacularly like yours? Like, it's just, anytime anyone sees it, they know it's you because that's your car and you're a big fan of it. Maybe I drive a car that is all black with a Black Panther decal in front of it instead of the Mazda logo, and purple lights because it's black and purple, because Wakanda, because Black Panther. Because again, different, but the same. You see, there's things that I think, nah, I'm not like that. And then I take a look and I go, oh, I am. So, Shedannygans. From the original Shedannygans. He's got a great sense of humor. The man is hilarious. You never know what's going to come out of his mouth, right? So that leads me to my beautiful, wonderful girlfriend. We started dating this year, and of course, got to introduce him to the parents. And so she met my mom and my family, and that was all cool. Because again, chill, low key. And I knew at some point she was going to have to meet my pops. Now, knowing that this man is the king of Shedannygans, he's the OG Shedannigan, I was like, hey, these are some of the things that's probably, Pops, he's a wild dude. You know what I mean? He's a cool cat. You never know what he's going to say. But here are some examples of what he may say, right? Like, I'm thinking I'm covering my bases, right? Because, yes, I'm a 43-year-old man. But at the same time, this man has known me since I was a child. There could be a story or something he comes up with that I'm not prepared for that, like, could possibly embarrass me. So I want to lay the groundwork. Hey, baby, listen, he may say this, he may say that, but don't worry about it. And then that way, when he does it, like, you thought you got me, but you didn't. You know what I mean? Preparation. I was a Boy Scout. Be prepared. You know what I mean? So we go and we meet, and it's going to be me and Shanita, and it's going to be my pops and my brother Landell. And we all meet up at a diner, one of my favorite diners. And so we walk in, and Pops promises me from the get-go. First off, I see him, we hug, and he's already laughing. This is a bad sign. Why are you laughing? Ain't nobody said nothing funny. What's going on up in here, Pops? And I look at him, and then he looks at me, and knowing what I'm thinking, he's like, hey, man, I'm going to be on my best behavior. And I know that he means it. I look in his face, and I know that he's going to do everything in his power to be on his best behavior. But how long will it last? Because willpower has never been this man's strong suit, and I don't know, because it's going to be a long dinner. So how long you got in you before there's going to be some story that needs to be told or something that's going to need to go down, right?
A few moments later.
He's already laughing about some inside joke, okay? That, like, sir, what are we talking about? Him and my brother both cutting up. I already know. This ain't, you supposed to be good. Both of you supposed to be good. We are 4 minutes and 32 seconds into this. How are you already slipping? You're slipping, you're falling, and you can't get up. So I'm like, okay, all right, listen. Hey, you said, calm it down, sir. Calm it down, sir. Hey, I ain't doing nothing. All this, right? So, Shanita, again, wonderful, love her dearly. She decides to break the tension. It's like, hey, it's fine, you don't have to worry about being on your best behavior for me. Come on, I'm good with jokes and stuff. Me and Danny, we joke all the time. I got a great sense of humor. Just go ahead and be you. You sure? Go ahead and be you. Okay. I'm thinking, that's fine. I knew this was going to happen. I'm ready for this. I prepared for this. We gonna be all right. And then he opens his mouth and says, so, did you tell her what our name means? And time stops for me, because what? Why is that the first thing that you say? And I know you're looking at me, Danny, what? Your name has a meaning? No, not really, but he gave it one. And so he came up with what his name means. But since I share the same name, it is what our name means. And I found this out when I was 12 years old. You see, my mom and my pops, they divorced when I was very little. So I lived with my mom, but my pops would come and get me on weekends, right? And so every other weekend or so, he'd come and get me. I hang out with him. It'll be great. On a random Tuesday, out of nowhere, this man shows up. He ain't never shown up on a Tuesday. This man pulls up. Hey, son, you want to go grab some food and hang out? Sure, all right, I got homework, but whatever, come on. Big grin on his face, a lot of energy. Something's up. I don't know what it is. As we're driving in the car, he's just happy and smiling. Can't wait to get to the restaurant. We get to sit down in the restaurant. He's like, hey, son, you got a crush on any girl you're looking at? Sir, what? I am 12 years old. This is how I look at 12 years old. Nothing about that individual says, yeah, I'm macking to the ladies, right? Everything about that individual says, I'd rather just be left alone. I like to play video games a whole lot and I don't know, watch some cartoons every now and again, right? That everything about that guy grows up into this guy. You know what I mean? Like that's what it was. Wasn't nothing. The girls weren't knocking down the door, if you know what I mean, looking for your boy. Okay. So no, I don't have anybody. I mean, I got girls I got crushes on, but I ain't trying to get my feelings hurt. No, I got nothing about that. What do you mean? Well, this is how you gonna get them, son. Listen, you got to tell her what our name means. He says all smooth and happy like, tell her what our name means. Color me intrigued because what are you talking about? I just came here for some burgers and fries. I came here for food. I didn't come here for whatever this is, but I'm here now. I'm 12. I ain't drive. Okay, he got to drive me back home. So I'm sitting here locked into whatever this conversation is. What do you mean? What does our name mean? And he says to me, yeah, this is what our name means. When you see the girl you got the crush on, we're 12. When you see the girl that you got the crush on, you look at her and you say, hey, this is what my name means. It means dreaming alone, now needing you, meaning come, passion has arrived, understanding love. What? What? And I look at him, half chewed burger in my mouth because you stopped chewing, because you lock in, because some shenanigans just came spilling all out. What did you say to me? He didn't need to repeat it because I will forever remember that because that's not a thing that people do. That's not a thing. That's not a thing that I heard of. I didn't know that people were just giving names, meanings, the names all willy-nilly. So this is something that's locked in here as a 12-year-old. And so I was like, oh, okay, Pops. And he was like, nah, say it back to me. Say what the name means. I mean, okay, Pops. He's like, nah, but you got to say it using that bass. Say it with that bass. Now, 12 years old, puberty. I was in a fight for my life. For puberty, right? Puberty was just messing me up, right? And so every now and again, the voice would go real squeaky, but it would settle into a very deep voice. 12 years old, right? Looking like that, but sounding like this. The power, okay, of the deep voice hit me at a very early age. So Pops in his mind was like, your voice deeper than mine. So not only can you tell the girl, we're 12, what our name means, when you hit her with that deep voice, oh, that's it. He thought it was the combo. This was the Kamehameha wave of macking. And he thought my little 12-year-old, again, this guy was going to be all about that macking. So I said it back to him as requested in the deepest voice that I could gather. Okay, Pops. Dreaming alone, now needing you, meaning come. Passion has arrived, understanding love. Yeah. Use that, son. You're going to get all the ladies. Now, I'm sure it worked for him. Again, this man grew up. He was big in the 70s. That was happy 70s and 80s. I'm sure. Names drop. Oh, girls was, that was real cool. 12 years old. That ain't for me, right? So, of course, I never said that to any girl. You know what I mean? I was getting picked on. What? People were calling me Power Ranger. I was getting picked on, this, that, and the third. I'm not trying to add any more strife to my life. I ain't going to be known as the weird kid that told everybody what his name means. I don't need that on me, okay? I got enough problems at 12 years old fighting for my life against puberty. But thank you, Pops, for that. I will never forget this, but I will never say this, and we will never speak of this again. So I thought. Flash forward. Remember how I mentioned I'm 43 years old? Do you know how long ago 12 is from 43? That's 31 years. This man, the first thing out of his mouth, I'm going to be good. You don't have to be good. Tell about our name. Immediately. What? What? So now here I am, right? In the restaurant. This is news to everybody because we've never talked about this. And I was a Boy Scout. I lost all my badges because I was not prepared enough, because I had somehow forgotten something that should never have been forgotten. I forgot to tell her the most important thing. He gonna tell you about our name. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking it's 31 years ago. We ain't talked about this in years. He has clearly forgotten. This man's in his late 60s. He got other things going on in life. He can't clearly know. No. First thing. So I'm here. Shanita loves me dearly. Very intrigued to find out what this is, though. My brother Landell. Never heard this before. Y'all names got a meaning? Well, do tell. I can't not say it. And here's the thing. Pop said, tell her what our names mean. He didn't say, did you remember what our name mean? This man knew that I knew. He assumed I never forgot. He knew that that was imprinted on me. Of course I never forgot. Who will forget a thing? So I just take it. You know what? I take the L. All right? That's on me. I lost this battle. So I'm going to go ahead and tell him. I look over at Shanita and I say, our name means dreaming alone, now needing you, meaning come. Passion has arrived. Understanding love. And he goes, nah. Come on now. You got to say it with that bass. Yeah, you got to say it with that bass, my brother Landell says from out of nowhere, just sitting there across, enjoying the show, seeing the embarrassment on my face. And so Shanita was like, oh, I love to hear it with that bass. Baby girl. Again, this is on me, right? I could have prevented all of this, right? This could have been something that had been prepared for, but I got. So here I am in this situation. So I'm just riding the wave out. And so I don't want to say it again, but I got to say it again, much as I did when I was 12 years old with quote unquote that bass. And so I look over at them, cackling, by the way, Pops grinning, Landell laughing. Stop. They go, no, it's fine. We ain't gonna look at you. You sitting across the table. You are 17 and a half inches away from me. What do you mean you're not gonna look at me like that's gonna make a difference? You know what? Whatever. Turn your head away, okay? You may get to hear this, but you ain't gonna get to see it. Look, both of you, that way and that way. So, Shanita, our name means, with that bass, dreaming alone, now needing you, meaning come, passion has arrived, understanding love. Which is what I said. But what was heard, because even though they weren't looking, they were listening and they were laughing. So it was to the background of just cackling from my father, who's just cracking up at the situation, and my brother, who's a huge jerk, who's every time I said something, he would say, yeah, at the end. So what actually came out was dreaming, yeah. Alone, yeah. Now needing you, yeah. Meaning come, yeah. Passion has arrived, yeah. Understanding love, yeah. All of my hate them so much right now in this moment. But yeah, there it was. I got. And so as a 43-year-old man in this wonderful new relationship, I had to roll the dice on if she would still want to be with me. Fortunately, she's a trooper. I didn't think that was going to be a deal breaker. She's dating me. She sees all this. She knows what it is. She understands Shedannygans. She just got to see a different kind of Shedannygans. The original Shedannygans, if you will. So, yeah. Laughter, cackles, enjoyment from all around at my expense. But that, I feel like, perfectly encapsulates the original Shedannygans, if you would, and why I am the way that I am. Because would I come up with a meaning for my name, dreaming alone now meaning? No, I wouldn't do that. Would I make an entire show with a play on my name and the word shenanigans? Again, different, but the same. So here we are. So I think that is where I'm going to end the first episode of Shedannygans. I appreciate you all joining me. Want to give a special shout out to my father, the original Danny McFall, for giving me so many laughs over the years and being the subject of this and probably a couple more, because I got stories for days about that man, to give you more of an idea of why I am the way that I am. It's in the DNA. And yeah, I mean, appreciate you all. If this is something that you're a fan of, make sure that you like, make sure that you comment, make sure that you know, tell me a story. An embarrassing parent story. Do y'all have them? Everybody has them. I'm sure they didn't make up names, but do you have something? It would be great. Make me feel better that I'm not alone in this. But until the next time, make sure that you always and forever stay golden.